Welcome everybody here from my side. This is Kapil Sharma and I welcome all of you here. SSC CGL 2025 has kicked off today and here I am with some points. I would love to mark some mistakes or pitfalls to avoid, some mind map, some techniques, important points, time management and everything such. We'll be discussing some important topics in today's session that you should consider and that'll help you pretty much in your English section, particularly. Why English section alone? Because that emphasizes your selection, that decides your selection. Before I start, I should say one line that English decides everything. This is the only subject, the scoring one. We have 45 questions in the mains, 45, the maximum. And if you score pretty much in those 45, a couple of considerations in GA or mathematics or reasoning can be considered. We'll start step by step from tier 1, but taking tier 2 into consideration equally. It happens in bank examinations that the level of tier 1 pre and the level of mains is different. Here in SSC, those who have appeared in examinations, they better know or check PYQs. The level of tier 1, tier 2 is almost the same. Don't judge a book by its cover. It has happened seldom that the level of tier 2 is lower than the level of tier 1. Yes, it has happened. Check last year's CHSL examination mains. Okay, let's go straight. I have written something that English is the only section where a consistent student can guarantee near perfect accuracy. I can't say perfect, but still near perfect, almost perfect accuracy. Make it your strength for CGL 2025. How to go ahead? Let's map out a clear game plan for CGL 2025 English section. How to manage time, we'll discuss how to prepare strategically and how to focus on those high producing yielding topics. But yes, before I start, one line to start with. English is important because that's decisive in both your tier 1 because you can score quickly and maximum near perfect, and for tier 2 I shouldn't say anything. It has 45 questions. If you score 40, around 40, you have made your mark. Let's discuss all these things step by step. First of all, time management. When it comes to time management in tier 1, as everybody knows, still let me mention, we have 60 minutes, 100 questions, some 15 minutes for each section. English, if you have practiced enough, takes 8 minutes in my opinion, or 10 minutes in my opinion, or a max of 12 minutes in my opinion. Yes, students who are expert have gone through hundreds of mocks. They can finish in less than 6 minutes also. They do finish in less than 6 minutes. Okay, I'm talking about everyone, not just the toppers or the beginners, but usually if your time is more than 12 minutes, you are still lacking enough practice. Practice enough and your time management will be precise. You will be attempting tier 1 mocks or PYQs in something around 8 minutes to 10 minutes to 12 minutes, not more than that, to be honest. So your time management should be this, that tier 1 we can finish those questions 25 in 8 to 12 minutes, targeting 2 to 3 questions per minute. It can't be said equally well for all because, for example, there's an RC. Now we have RCs in place of cloze tests in tier 1 SSC CGL 2025, and finishing an antonym question in less than a minute is okay. Finishing a synonym question, idiom phrase question, spell check, whether we know that or not, 15 to 20 seconds max, done. But finishing a question of RC may take more than a minute. That's why I'm not talking about each question or the time for each question, but overall it takes 10 minutes roughly, plus minus 2. Strategy, okay, I am mature, I would say here. I won't be saying what works for me will work for you. What worked for the topper will work for you. Definitely no. No two human beings are the same. I may be good at grammar. I'll be attempting grammar first. Voice, narration, error detection, sentence improvement. Done. I know them. I'm pretty good at that. I'm adept at that. But I'm weak at vocabulary. Why would I start with vocabulary? Antonym, synonym, idiom phrase, spell check questions can puzzle me. So start with your expertise first. things that you find easy, start with them. If I honestly go there, I'll be starting with grammar. Done. In 2 to 3 minutes, everything done. Voice, narration, and all these things. I'll be attempting RCs then. For me, being a teacher, they are pretty easy. Done. No objection. Accuracy almost 100%. Yes, one of the words in antonym, synonym, or idiom phrase or spell check may trouble me. No problem. That's the way. For those students who are pretty good at vocabulary, you remember those PYQs because the database of SSC itself in their examinations from PYQs is abundant. They ask pretty much, you better know, from their PYQs, be it antonyms, be it synonyms, be it idiom phrases, be it one-word substitutions. If I'm good at vocabulary, I'll be starting with vocabulary first. If I'm good at grammar, I'll be starting with grammar first. If I'm good at comprehension, I'll be starting with, say, cloze tests, if they are there. Say RC, say parajumbles, obviously. So you attempt what's good for you, what's easy for you, what works for you. Don't copy the others. That's the mistake some of us do. And don't get stuck on tricky RC or parajumble. Skip. It may consume your time that you may invest in other questions, probably in mathematics also, reasoning also there. Come back once you save your time and you can attempt that easily. If to me, I've attempted 95 questions out of 100 and I have 4 minutes left, 56 minutes are there, I may leave that question because my accuracy is pretty good. And attempting 95 with 95% or 90 plus accuracy, I'm done. Need not attempt, honestly. But if I keep there, if I be there, I may lose some of those questions which were easy. If I had attempted, I would have clicked. So don't get stuck on anything, be it mathematics, be it reasoning, be it English. Safe attempt, honestly, for students who get selected, score much. 22 to 24 correct questions with 95% accuracy. Or if you are a beginner, you have just started and prepared enough, to be honest, then you can attempt 22 to 24 questions with maximum accuracy. And once you practice enough, honestly, 22 questions will be correct for sure. 23 will be correct in each mock. 1 to 2 to a max of 3 questions go wrong. Okay, that's all about tier 1. When it comes to tier 2, we have 45 questions. I can narrate again with a max of 1 hour for English and GA or GS. GA, GS, 25 questions, no calculation out there, can be finished in 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So we have some roughly 45 minutes for English section. That means 45 questions in 45 minutes. We have whole 1 minute for one question each with the same level, not pretty much. There we can analyze, we can proofread, we can check, we can obviously make corrections if possible, if they are there, and leave the questions which are tricky, come back, invest your time out there, you can attempt them. So almost 1 minute per question we get. Focus on your accuracy. Order, would say that again, your expertise first. Copying what he did may not work for me. He's different, I am different, you are different. Safe attempt. If you honestly get 40 plus with 90% accuracy, your exam is half qualified. You know this. So that's all about time management. When it comes to the time management for preparation, call this the strategy for preparation, I'll make that in 4 quarters of 2 hours for each subject. Okay, you decide for mathematics, you decide for GAGS, you decide for reasoning, but I would say for English, 2 hours in 30-minute slots is sufficient apart from your study classes. For 30 minutes, you can have vocabulary, root words to help you remember or derive new words, idiom phrases, one-word substitutions, antonym, synonym, and spell check. You must allot time for vocabulary on a daily basis. That's the only thing we remember and we forget. You are also probably one of those students. I mug up words, but I easily forget. What to do? I forget vocabulary. We may not forget grammar. We can't remember RCs, they are new, but we forget vocabulary. So it's better to have that revision every single day. Okay, grammar drills, you can go for error spotting in those 30 minutes, voice, narration, sentence improvement, To be on track, to keep up the pace so that you are pretty good at that. In the examinations, you will be saving time, not spending pretty much on them. And yes, of course, we come across those common errors that we can mug up, nip in the bud. And those distinctions, because we attempt them every single day, so those distinctions may not be distinct for us in the examination because we might have come across them before if we practice daily. 30 minutes for your reading because reading deserves the importance. In tier 1, okay, but in tier 2, out of those 45 questions, 3 are RCs, making 15 questions of just one topic, 3 RCs in mains. If I include parajumbles and close test, more than 50% weightage of reading is there. Just one topic RC, which is totally dependent on reading, makes your 33.33 percentage in your mains examination. Whoa. So I must allot time on a daily basis for reading also. Reading editorials, up to you. Articles, focusing on inference and tone also. These days they commonly ask what's the tone of the RC, what's the style of the RC, and some inference based questions also, not the direct written explicit ones. And 30 minutes for mock tests, sectional ones, analyzing them. You know this word. If you are a beginner, I'm sorry, know this. If you are one of those who has practiced enough, who has gone through examinations, PYQs enough, you know it's quite important to analyze, because if I leave the mock test just capturing the score, I will commit the same mistake again and again and again and again. Analyzing a mock test is equally important as attempting one. Do analyze your mocks, and the mistakes, there are two types of mistakes. The concept based ones, no sir, I did not know this word. I came across this for the very first time. Honestly, I did not know this. Okay, nobody knows that, we can make mistake. But the formula based ones, the common ones, we must not leave those common ones. Okay, the new ones can be left by, say, the toppers also. Remember, analyze your mocks. Weekly routine, that was the daily practice, 2 hours minimum. 2 into 4, 8 hours. A student must study for 8 hours. Okay, those toppers may take 6 to 7, but I think you agree 8 hours is an optimum time we should study on a daily basis. Okay, weekly attempt at least 2 to 3 full mocks right now. Maintain a notebook of yours of errors, vocabulary, and revise that frequently per week, because everyone's different. I make these mistakes quite often, but that's not a mistake to be done. But sir, I make them. I don't know, but I'm pretty weak at that. I make such mistakes. Okay. You revise your notebook of errors of vocabulary and revise it frequently. Before the examination, you can't remember all those 500 PDFs you have in your phone or laptop, but you can revise your own notebook that you have made, that I made these mistakes, this is something beneficial for me, and such. Your own handbook, notebook, and focus on elimination tricks and vocabulary. I do not know the word, but these 3 are positive. That's the negative one. If that's a positive word, these 3 can be the answer. Okay, odd one out. It works quite often. I won't say always, but quite often. Elimination works n number of times. Important topics, I would love to highlight this word initially, then I'll say all these things, and I'll come back to this again. There's nothing we can leave. There's nothing we can leave. You heard it. And that's maturity. That's reality. There is no shortcut to success. There's nothing we can leave. But still, if you wish to start, grammar I think is easy. We don't usually forget. Error spotting, from SVA, they commonly ask. From conjunctions, the next topic, and then everything else out there. The common parallel structures, determiners, conditional clauses, and such. Sentence improvement also, because it is equally there. Active and passive, free marks, direct narration, indirect narration, free marks in the examinations, making grammar. Vocabulary, antonyms, synonyms, one words, idiom phrases, spell check. Obviously, they deserve the importance. And the reading section, RC, close test, parajumbles, fillers. I won't say this is important, so you leave the other. This is important, you leave that. Nothing is left, nothing can be left. Everything is important. So please take my words. You can't leave anything in SSC examinations because the cutoffs are 160 plus, 80% plus. Each section deserves equal importance. Each topic deserves equal importance. If you leave idiom phrases, you'll be surely leaving 2 questions in your tier 1 and probably 2 to 3 in tier 2. And we can't leave 2 questions intentionally. There'll be few more that we do not know, even though we worked hard. So we can't. Okay, if you are here, listen to me carefully. This is something I'm sure you will like. Common mistakes to avoid. Pretty good points I've written. Over reliance on grammar rules, ignoring reading, is a blunder, not a mistake. N number of times SSC, those who design papers, they have pretty much experience. They are experienced enough. They put such variations, seldom, that if you follow rules, they won't be followed. In the classes, I honestly mentioned a number of variations SSC has marked in CHSL, CGL examinations before, and they are quite distinct. Can't be just mugged up, honestly. So over-reliance on rules is a blunder, not a mistake. Learning idioms without context may be horrific. Always remember at least one example statement of where the idiom has been used, because nowadays SSC is not asking what's the meaning of the idiom and 4 options, you pick the meaning. They give you sentences and you have to infer, decipher from the given statement. Is that used correctly or not? So do remember the context of the idiom also along with the meaning, and an example statement will be the best. Attempting parajumbles without finding those connectors. You can find, usually students say, the first one quite easily. Sir, I find the first one and then I am not able to get anything. Find the connectors. They are discussing this here. They are discussing the same here. Probably A and C should be together. Okay, they are talking about this here. They are talking about this here. Probably B and D should be together. So I'll be finding some options where EC, AC must be together, BD must be together and such. Get those connectors and your parajumble will be connected. Honestly, the best part. And if you don't analyze mocks, I won't be using harsh words, but you are willingly ignoring your selection, willingly leaving yourself in the lurch, not willing to succeed. You keep on repeating the same mistakes if you don't analyze your mocks. So don't rely pretty much on grammar rules. Don't ignore reading. Don't learn idioms without context. Learn idioms with context. An example statement. Attempting parajumbles without finding connectors is horrible. We may get some wrong. We may get some right, some wrong again. And if you don't analyze mocks, whoa, whoa, whoa. Final tips and mindset. For tier 1, your speed, finishing in 8 minutes, 10 minutes, but accuracy matters. It should be 90 plus, I would say, in all subjects. If you qualify safely, you have if you have speed and accuracy, obviously you qualify safely. For tier 2, your depth, your composure, consistency matters. That's the decisive one for final selection. I stated in the beginning, I'm saying that again. Keep revising that notebook of yours of errors, vocabulary until exam day. Your confidence, calmness in exam hall matters as much as your preparation. If I feel cool, calm, composed there in the examination hall, I'll be attempting those questions which I knew and will be scoring up to my level. If I feel worried, anxious, troubled there, I won't be scoring what's the level of mine. I'll be scoring some 15-20 marks less. So your confidence, your calmness, your presence of mind in the examination hall matters as much as your preparation. That's all I had in this session. I hope that was beneficial to you. Each and every point I've written is meaningful. Your feedback is all welcome. Would love to see you in these sessions. And not promoting, but saying something motivational to you. These are some of the results that we had in CGL 2024 with the toppers, AIR 1 and 1, and many such out there. Probably 6,000 plus selections. Would love to see your photo here. Let's start your journey towards success. If you are new to the channel, do subscribe. Would love to see you in the classes. Here at YouTube also. Thank you. Bye bye, take care, be safe. All the very best again from my side. See you pretty soon. All the best. See you. For doubts and objections, drop a comment. Would be happy to answer them. See you. All the best.